Since I represent a tech company, we researched how crowdfunding platforms build their technology, how the software type differs depending on the business model, what payment services are used, and how blockchain is currently represented in the crowdfunding industry. So there are several ways to build a crowdfunding platform. Use a software as a service solution, buy ready-made crowdfunding software, create the platform in-house, or outsource building the platform to a third-party team. Around 60% of investment platforms develop software in-house, while only 20% of non-investment platforms do so. And we noticed that non-investment platforms mostly use outsourcing, while only 20% of investment platforms do the same. And when we look at the regions, most platforms across all regions are built in-house except for Southern Europe, where 77% of platforms were built outsourced. On the other hand, SaaS was used by 15 of platforms across all regions except for Eastern Europe, where no platform used such software. And we also found that software outsourcing is less popular in Western and Northern Europe and is least popular in Eastern Europe. The latter might have to do with a higher concentration of affordable tech talent in Eastern European countries, and this gives the platforms from this region an advantage in building new technology and implementing advanced user experience much quicker. Payment processing is another interesting tech aspect of running a crowdfunding platform, and relying on a third-party payment provider incurs substantial costs, but using own payment systems usually requires extra regulatory compliance and is associated with, again, more costs and work. And across models, most platforms use external payment service providers, quite obviously, and own payment systems are mostly used by lending platforms. We also found the same applies to regions, and external payment service providers prevail in all regions, while own payment systems are used by platform in Northern and Eastern Europe. In addition to the above, we also surveyed if platforms build any sort of innovative or simply non-standard features, and if they go beyond the usual crowdfunding platform setup. These are features like auto-investing, secondary market, referral system, mobile app, open banking, investing through an advisor, early access to investment opportunities, and legal tech. Advanced feature adoption is quite similar across equity and lending platforms, and the most common features among equity platforms are early access and referral system, while mobile app, secondary market, and auto-investing is what equity platforms are actively planning to implement, while open banking is the least desirable. Feature situation with lending platforms is similar to those with equity platforms. Referral system and secondary market are the top features already used by lending platforms, and more platforms are planning to introduce the secondary market, and some are thinking about launching a mobile app or auto-investing function. Investing through an advisor is the least popular feature to be implemented by lending platforms. The feature split among non-investment platforms is very different. Overall, non-investment platforms do not invest much in added features, which is a bit surprising as the non-investment platform market is highly competitive and the margins are relatively narrow. Non-investment platforms more frequently use referral systems and early access to investment opportunities, and features like open banking, investing through advisor, or a secondary market are obviously least popular. And finally, blockchain. Blockchain is not yet widely adopted by the crowdfunding community, yet it can bring many benefits like better data protection, traceability, transparency, transaction security through smart contracts, and et cetera, et cetera. We asked the respondents to answer if they use or plan to use 3 types of blockchain solutions in crowdfunding. It's asset tokenization, crypto payments, and secondary trading. Turns out quite a small proportion of platforms use or plan to use blockchain, across all models that we surveyed. The highest adoption is among equity crowdfunding platforms, with asset tokenization being the most popular application. Tokenization of assets and secondary trading are considered for future application by equity and non-investment platforms. And I'd also like to add that DLT regulations and blockchain regulations are being implemented across many European countries at the moment, and most probably we will see the adoption of these technologies by crowdfunding platforms, and they may give these platforms a unique selling point at some point in time.